potential non-humans watching. Geeta Rose here. Thank you for tuning in. So this week, I really don't have a specific topic that I'm wanting to talk about. It's been a couple of weeks since I made a video because I was traveling, and it just feels right for me to get on and share and see what comes out in the moment. And get back in the flow of making videos each Friday. So I was in Sedona. I was in the Sedona Vortex. I was at Bridget Nielsen's and her family's retreat at their home, the Sedona Adventure, and it was absolutely amazing. I'll drop in a few pictures. The landscape was unlike anything I had ever seen before, and the energies were strong, and friendships and connections even stronger. I am so thankful for the time that I got to spend in Sedona.
When it all comes true, just the way you've planned. It's funny, but the bells don't ring. It's a quiet thing.
Whew, so Sedona was absolutely amazing. I've realized that I am going to aim to cram in a lot of information in a fairly short amount of time in this video. So I will state I am so thankful for Bridget Nielsen and crew. All of those that participated in the event, the whole family, all of us that were brought together for this long weekend was extremely powerful. Yeah, it was just an amazing experience. My heart is so open. But I'm wanting to share some of the understandings that I've had from the past couple of weeks, a bit more how my connection to Bella is transforming and solidifying, what the land activation did for me being in Sedona. So what I first clued into was the voices of the ancestors appear to be so much louder there. They're always loud, they're always around us. We're all tuning in and remembering how to remember in the moment. But the permission slip is that much more activated in Sedona. And it seems to be as I'll translate it, a pinpoint in the monomyth. The point of the crossing of the thresholds, entering into the new world. This moment in time that has been suspended, where all of the agreements are still able to speak with each other and be in conscious awareness of the communication. So the star beings, our ancestors, our earth ancestors and our star being ancestors, and the consciousness of Gaia herself, the minerals, the animals, the plants, and then the consciousness of those of us that are in this now generation of uncovering and discovering and crossing this threshold. And it seems to be what creates this open doorway. All of these levels of agreements and awareness of the agreements and keeping that door open for the sake of exploration. And this door is always open to us. Always, always, always. We're always able to choose to be in the frequency connected to the ancestors and the star beings and Gaia's consciousness and the whole greater monomyth. But there's something specifically that is happening there that I felt. And the importance of the crystal underneath the ground is like an encyclopedia of information that I only scratched the surface of. Very aware of that. And the amount of water that used to be there, how drastically different the topography has been over time. I think most of our planet's topography has been very different over time, but there is something specific within the energy of how vastly different it is in Sedona and the greater Arizona area compared to millions of years ago that doesn't get talked about much, I feel like, in society. Like, we're not told that that area used to be like completely underwater. What? So of course, connections to Atlantis and Lemuria and all of the different shifts and stages that we've gone through. So connecting to the land and connecting to what I translate this vortex energy to actually be, and the different chakra points or activation points or archetypal points that exist within the monuments or the natural monuments. So there is Boynton Canyon, Warriors Rock, and Mother's Rock. I'm forgetting the name of the feminine Mother's Rock, something. Anyways, that's the root chakra, that's the grounding chakra, that's the area that has the vortex that spins into. And then there is Bell Rock, where Bashar says his ship to be, and that is a mirror for the crown chakra. Energy goes up there. And so I was able to visit both places and really feel the difference and really ground into and sink into to be able to lift up and out of more. And I was also very aware, of course, that like Bashar's ship is over Bell Rock, but I didn't know this until about 2 weeks before I was set to go to Sedona. I was like, oh yeah, Bashar's ship is over Sedona, but like where? Maybe I should check that out. So I followed that, and sure enough, Bell Rock. We are laughing. Bella says that her ship is over Haleakala, Pu'ula specifically, which translates to Red Hill. So Bella is over Red Hill, and Bashar is over Bell Rock. That is quite a big red hill. This is where I feel like I'm being very kind of vulnerable and very in my process, but it's been part of my process to share my process and helps me get grounded to be able to bring in clearer information. And part of what I really started cluing into while being in Sedona is who Bella really is. And ultimately, I really do know and believe that it is not the details that matter, but the message that they bring forth. But the more that I really clue into the details and to her character, the more the message is truly able to come forth. So, bit of a catch up. She says that she and I are the same soul, definitely have the same oversoul, are simultaneous incarnations. But like Bashar, who I understand to be 300 years in our future, Bashar is Darryl Anka, Darryl Anka is Bashar as we understand it, but he's 300 years in our future as I understand it. Bella is more so in our specific timeline. The Yael, the fifth hybrid race, are a bit closer to us genetically, a bit closer to us in our actual timeline, lots of different ways that this is manifesting and symbolizing itself in our reality. But she says that she is very much in our timeline and that she is around the same age as me. She pops up and down, and she's a time traveler, as we all are, but she's a very conscious, very wide, explored traveler, time traveler. We are very excited for the 13th Doctor Who. Let's get a shift on then. So she also says that Bashar is one of her main teachers, and that she is a fully fledged member of the Contact Specialist Guild in this now. Her ship is over above Maui, the ship we call Karen, because she takes care of us when we are in her, the Karen. And then it's spelled C-A-I-R-E-N. Also like the car in the air, the air. She was very specific on the old Irish way of spelling Karen. And she's the captain of this ship. And this ship is also, we love Doctor Who, very much like a TARDIS. way bigger on the inside. The ship is connected to her oversoul, or whatever oversoul, but connected to her, simply enough, and is its own sentient being. It is a plasma saline combination and other things that is grown, is a certain level of what we would label AI, or what we're beginning to label as non-biological consciousness, but is not quite as AI, quote unquote, perhaps as we would define Bashar's ship. Again, it's a little bit closer to us genetically. It's a little bit closer to maybe a more dream-like fantasy type of expression, rather than like hard sci-fi. It's very loose fantasy, the world that she's presenting to us, which I find very interesting. But it has the ability to morph into various different shapes that are needed for the children, for other members of the AL, other members of the Contact Specialist Guild, and for our desires as well, depending on what perhaps we may think a spaceship needs to look like. It can look like that. It also has the ability to have aspects of Gaia, aspects of the elemental realms, the planet, or the plants and mineral realms, to be able to aid and come on board, so to speak, with how the Karen manifests and looks in our reality. Bella says that her ship was one of the ships, if not the ship, used in the Phoenix Lights. Like this part, I'm like, I don't know. That message freaks me out, I'm not gonna lie. Totally scares the bejeebus out of me. But that's cool, I keep going. I didn't even know what vocal channeling was. And Darryl Anka was very nice to me and was like, hey, if you ever need anything, you call me. So, I don't know. How fun. I know that this part of me doesn't know. And I know that there is the part of me that absolutely knows, and they're having a lot of fun. And I'm having a lot of fun, so I just keep going. Just keep going. Keep on going. So I followed the path of the Phoenix Lights because it seemed like fun. I had already planned to go visit my uncle in Sedona. And so I researched a little bit about where the lights were said to go, and went to the Phoenix Mountains and to South Mountain and saw some of the petroglyphs, and then noticed that there's quartzite all throughout the granite. And I just heard ding, 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 ding. And that's really as far as I got, that there's something, again, within the quartz, within the crystal, specifically within the quartzite, that even goes all the way down into, like, South Arizona. That is really important, that holds a lot of information, and that's really that, like, all that I was given. And then I have my own resistance of like, okay, thanks, I don't really need to dive in that much. Let me just make a YouTube video about what's happening so far. And then I went to Santa Cruz and met with my friends Carly and Heidi, who are helping me to start Isabel Productions. And we are starting to do very small, intimate, kind of invitation-only live events with Bella in Santa Cruz, in their home. It's like our living room sessions, you know, vintage. And Bella gave her talk about the human experience. I think I will actually post this on Isabel Productions' Facebook page. Bella told me, see, like, I don't even know what reality I'm in. Bella told me that she wants an Instagram, which I think is really funny, and I'll play along. And she also told me that she would like her own YouTube channel. So more information will be shared for the greater public, but I'm still getting very grounded, honestly, in this, and having very much like my Arrival moment. I very much feel like Amy Adams in Arrival, and I'm like, oh, this is how contact on our planet is happening, and my brain is being rewired, and I am beginning to fully see things. The more that I understand who she is, able to really see things from their perspective. And then the questions get very interesting. because they're the same questions that can be answered the same way. And I think soon, those of us, especially within the community, there's not going to be very many questions left to ask. There's going to be new ways of communicating with these beings. But then also, we are vibrational beacons for a very specific energy. And people who are ready for it will find their way. We put a listing on a meetup app, and a woman who had been dealing with a lot of depression knew that something within this event, something within this frequency was enough to inspire her to get out of bed. And after hearing Bella's transmission and Bella's perspective, she felt like a completely different person and left with a completely different perspective. And she had never heard of Bashar. And so she was introduced to Bella in her own way, and then we also got to introduce her to Bashar and to a very different way of looking at everything. And it really, really is very simple. The more that I see, the more that I experience. There is no external reality. Actually, it's the greatest experience, the greatest show, the greatest simulation ever. And in the eyes of the all that is, we are the greatest creators. We are the gangsters of the galaxy. We are the bravest and the boldest and the most creative. And it really, really is through our belief systems, through the stories that we tell ourselves that then create what we feel, that then align us with the version of reality that we are creating to experience. And then from there, we just get really grounded. And we remember, we know, I don't know, how fun. How fun, I don't know. But I know that I'm connected to the aspect of me that does know. And it will give me what I need in the next and the next and the next moment. And in those spaces in between, things may become a bit more silent. Less questions. Maybe more statements and exclamations and laughter. And gratitude. Finding that baseline of gratitude. Gratitude is the baseline. That appreciation of appreciation then just appreciates in the trust that is our ultimate trust. So, like I said, I think the way that we will communicate with these ETs will change, as all things change. But especially with the Contact Specialist Guild, I really do feel there's going to be less questions, maybe more silence, maybe more laughing, maybe more statements and exclamations, or maybe more music. When you're feeling lonely, you're not alone. When you're in fear, someone's in love. We are it all. It's our choice to fly or to fall. We choose how we feel, how we feel. That's real. Gratitude is the baseline. the baseline. When you're in doubt, someone knows faith. When you're feeling anxious, oh, someone is safe. We are it all. It's our choice to fly or to fall. We choose how we feel. How we feel, that's real. Gratitude is the baseline. Stay in the heart, know the power of the mind. Gratitude is the baseline, a hook to hold on to through space and time. Oh. Gratitude is the baseline. We are the bridge, so love one another and rover, so over, oh, love one another. We choose how we feel, how we feel, that's real. Gratitude is the baseline. Stay in the heart, know the power of the mind. Gratitude is the baseline, a hook to hold on to through space and time. Oh, gratitude is the baseline. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for connecting back with me and connecting in with yourself. I am honest and truly so thankful for everyone who has been so supportive and so encouraging and sharing their synchronicities and stories. It really helps me be able to dive deeper and deeper and deeper to be able to learn more in this now about specifically who Bella is. And then that really allows me to bring through more of the clear messages for this next phase. So thank you sincerely. Our minds may be different. Our bodies may be different. But it is through our hearts that we know our spirits are one. Aloha!